I just cannot interrupt that song. It's so fucking beautiful. Oh my god. Yo! Good day, people. Oh my god. My back. Good morning, evening, afternoon, boys. I might be on a low eco mode today. Shit. What the fuck happened to my back? I think it's more my neck. Neck pain. Shit, bro. How you guys doing, by the way? Saints Flow, Lucas, Zay, and everyone's lurking in the chat. How you guys doing today? Kind of miss that voice. What voice? The song is an instrumental. Huh? Mm. One second, yeah. Yours. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. My brain legs. Ah, oh, fuck. Uh, I don't know. I'm a little bit under the weather a little today. Not like sick, but like, ugh. I'm not sure. I think I sleep wrong position. Like a neck pain, neck to shoulder. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. Hello, by the way. How you guys doing today, chat? What's up, what's up? Hope you guys are doing well today. What's up, Nell? ちょっと待ってね. Maybe you need a stolfogasm to message you. Massage you. Man. Any cosplayers? I'm kidding. I don't think it's muscles. I think it's nerve. Because it's like pops up here and there. It's not consistent. Anyway, let's just go straight into the drawing from yesterday. Or from last stream. Let us continue. I see YouTube link. It's not React Andy time. What the hell, Saints? Still React Andy time. Save it for later. Mad G. What do you mean? Yes, it is. That's not how it works. Looks like my overlay is still broken. Still not showing the sub and donos. It's kind of shame because you guys been going ham the last couple of fucking days. Let me see if I can do something. Let me check. ちょっと待ってね. Bottom boosted. Alert, blah blah blah. This one. Okay. Settings, open editor. I wonder if Stream Elements change their stuff. I feel like that will be the only reason that the thingy thing does not show up. What have you guys been doing, by the way, today, chat? Has it been a busy day? Or has it been a chill day? It's Friday, right? So, some of you guys probably just chilling out, right? Kinda chilling. Oh, fuck. Ugh. Design sub badges. Ooh, hello. Don't have to do quote unquote. Oh yeah, your panel. Shit, I forgot. I haven't done your panel since Wednesday. Last 2 days have been really busy on at work. But can I really slip in some of the commission stuff? I'm sorry. But the line art, it's pretty much already done when it comes to your panel. It's just colors, and then it should be good. I just need to do it. Praise free for on Epic for a week. That's true. That is true. What's up, Zero? Let me trigger the alert. See if it works. This is just a test. Okay, this is not a real alert. Do not be alerted. Haha. Wait. It doesn't trigger it. Oh my god, my alert is broken. I got a feeling your sub goal, your gift sub war with no actually breaks my fucking alert. Okay, alert showed up, but it doesn't. The name does not show up beside my my logos. You know what I'm talking about? Like donos and subs should be on left and right, but it doesn't show up anymore ever since your fucking GIF war. Oh my god. I mean, I do have a backup alert where I can just show it up. Overlay. Oh, that's one. That one is dead. Alert, Lelelbot, TTS, monster, sound alerts, trigger fire. Okay, nothing works. I don't know. Oh fuck. After Rad, also his stream is broken. Just keep breaking my shit with money. Thank you, but goddamn. How? I would usually ask Nono about this, but this one is not Nono. This one is just me. Fuck. Donation, subscribe, standard scale, event option, display followers. Let's try that. Alright, I'm gonna test again. It's just a
Please
test.
cut the ringing. It sounds kind of like.
Come on, show up. Ah, it actually breaks. Oh my god. Okay. Then I'll probably have to check this out after stream. Cut 7. Your generosity is breaking my shit. Okay. I swear I have the other stuff before. Actually, I haven't messed around with my alert for so long. So I'm kind of confused as well. Got a lurker a bit? Okay. Take care, dude. Take care. Much love. Oh god. My voice. Jesus. I haven't shading. I haven't done any shading for this at all, huh? Okay, borrow from her. Oh, this song is so nice. Jacob, back on this, yeah, because we haven't do any shadow and lighting for it. The post processing, which is what are we gonna do for today? Oh, sorry. So probably not gonna do on this one for too long, and I will do some React and the end gaming. Oh my god. Binoculus. No wonder, like something's missing. The fucking color wheel's gone the whole time. Okay. Dude, your art improves a lot. I don't have such commitment. Uh, I do understand your your I guess I would say struggle because committing to I guess drawing in general or like art in general I guess because it kind of applies to a lot of art stuff is not the easiest thing because here's the thing obviously right I have to say that this kind of depends on each individual, right? Everyone is gonna have a different way of seeing things. But for me, the struggle for me for a while with my art is that I tend to not commit too much because I'm not really doing the art for money. Like I'm not doing this for a job. You know what I mean? Like I do this just literally just for fun. So sometimes, even though that's enjoyable, it does really makes your brain think that, oh, you can just chill out. No need to, work too hard on this. Even though you want to, but indirectly your brain thinks like, eh, you're not gonna get anything out of this other than, just enjoyment. Why work too hard on it, right? And you can kind of trick your brain into not doing that, uh, which is kind of helps me. Because I did struggle with that a lot back then, even until now sometimes, but not as serious as how it was. Is that um okay? Listen, but within the context. Compare your art with your favorite artist. Now, that might sound a little bit weird, right? Because I'm pretty sure if you've been in the art hobby community for a while, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said, "Don't compare yourself with other people. It's just gonna make you look, you look yourself down. Like, oh shit, all these people is drawing so fucking well, and I'm just a piece of shit." I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to that, right? Everyone has have went through that. But for me, um, the thing is that when I compare myself to like one of my favorite artists, uh, for example, on Twitter, one of my favorite right now that I really like a lot is, hold up, I forgot his username. Actually, let me just not call it out right now because I just remember his art is inappropriate stuff. But I really, really like his stuff. Okay, so let's just say this artist is pretty big on Twitter. I'm pretty sure some of you guys know him. His trade is some monster girls, and is really, really good. I followed him like in the past couple of months, so I've been seeing his art a lot. And lately, his art has been like my fuel to motivate myself. Compare yourself to a sofa, aspire to be grilled, but boy, yes, no. So I think whenever I see his art that pops up on my Twitter, like I always think like, oh damn, I wish I can draw like that, right? I wish I can like make art like that good, right? And then I proceed to like follow his Twitch and sometimes watch him drawing, like literally watch his live stream. Thankfully, he's always live whenever I'm at work, so I can always do my work while watching his stream on my second monitor, right? And by comparing, in my case, in this case, is that I like to really make myself be like, how can I draw as good as this guy specifically? Not like I'm not going into a general area. I'm not like I want to be as good as Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo da Vinci. Sorry, wrong Leo. Wrong Leo. Right? That's the actor. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're an actor, I guess you can aspire yourself to become DiCaprio, right? But uh I guess what hacked my brain was to be specific. So I've idolized this guy, this artist, and I browse through all of his drawings specifically and all that kind of stuff. And at some point I'm like, I want my drawing to look like his drawing in terms of like quality, not like exactly, but in terms of like quality. I want to be like when my drawing is put besides his drawing, I want it to look like it's the same tier. Does that make sense? So whenever I draw and I feel motivated because I look at his drawing, my brain's always like, how can I draw to be as good as this guy? Basically, not necessarily, you know, not necessarily I have to, but like if I can, it would be nice. It's as simple as that, right? I want to be as hot as Leo Lit 12. Okay, that's different. I want to be as good as Frank Booth. Franklin Booth. What's this? Franklin Booth. I have no. Holy fuck. Buh. Okay, you're. I mean, listen. Don't let your dreams be dreams. This guy is fucking godlike, but don't let your dreams be dreams. You want to achieve that skill? Go for it, man. Holy shit, though, his art's is. Oh my god, the amount of details. This guy. I'm not really well knowledgeable in terms of like this kind of art, this side of arts. My dad's probably do. My dad's hobby's painting and more of the historical art. So you probably know this guy. Oh, he do wood carving as well? Damn. Okay. But yeah, this guy is fucking insane. Oh, it's wood carving style. Okay, I thought he do wood carving. Okay, this is fucking insane though. Hold up. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh, this is so nice. Damn. The pattern is so cool. It's it's mesmerizing. I can stare at this for forever. Holy shit. I like the way he make this, I guess, sketchy. It's like a, I don't know if there's a word for it, but me and my dad always call it the pen, the ink pen shading technique, but in Indonesian. We don't really know the proper term for it, but it's basically when you make a shadow, instead of like using a grayish brush like this, just use like a solid pen. But to make the intensity of the shadow, you kind of like put spacing in between, right? I'm not really good at this. I used to, but that and then that and then this, like different intensity of the thickness of the pen or the gap in between, and where do you which way it goes. That, like, you can see, like, even though there's no proper art, proper line art of a figure here, you can see like there's a path, like a, like around here you can see like there's a path that's covering the cross. Like, it's so nice the way he make the lines, that as if like it's a figure here, there's a figure but not really, is so cool. I wonder if he used a ruler for this lines, or is it just like a very it's probably a ruler, because it's very straight-ish but not really. It's so cool. Damn. Franklin Booth. I'm gonna remember him. This is some cool shit. Thank you for sharing. I never knew this guy. Now I know. Now I'm a fan. Sheesh. I tried that so much I ended up scratch the canvas and pay. Yeah, there's probably it's a very specific technique, so it's probably very hard to nail. But you know, practice makes perfect, or at least near perfect. What's up, Chew Up? How you doing? The way he draw clots is so beautiful. I want to die. Undeserved to view it. Damn. I mean, it is what it is. If that's your motivation, if you're more of that kind of art, good, go do it, man. Go do it. Like I may be just some anime style artist, but I also admire other style as well. Even though I don't do it, doesn't mean I don't like it. I aspire a lot of genres. I draw sometimes. That's cool. If you guys like to draw, you guys can post it, show it to me sometimes. I like to see other people's drawing as well. You guys can also share it in the Discord if you want to share it with other people. That's why I make the art and fan art section, so people can share their stuff or other arts that they like. You know, go crazy, man. Go crazy. Share your art with the people around the world. Do not be shy. After all, that is the one of the goal of an art, isn't it? To be appreciated. Taskaru. That's what the weeps like to say, taskaru. Been watching too much VTubers, man. Ah. But yeah, Nell, if you draw and stuff like that, do show me. I like to see other people's drawing as well. I like to admire them. Share it. Let me see your magnificent arts. For anyone in the chat. How the fuck do I use Prime on you? If you can, you probably because it's in the use, or it's because you recently got subbed. Did you just get subbed by Lucas or Nono yesterday? If yes, then you might have to wait. Oh my god, my back. Oh my fucking god. Ah, Shibal. Oh my god. I feel like an old man right now. Shani, can you take my back scratchers in the back? Ah, fuck. Oh, yeah, I forgot to draw a nose on her. His style is based on his early experience as a wood engraver. Okay, that kind of makes sense. His wood If you would carve or engrave, it's the same as stone, where you kind of like make the same pattern in one linear uh way, I guess, which is what he does with the painting as well. That's interesting. Knowing those stuff is actually really good as well. That means you can learn based on his experience and stuff like that. And like, what does he do? What makes his art so special? Good stuff, Nell. Do research. That's good. Printmaking art. Printmaking. Is that the method for Franklin's drawings or stuff, arts? As I honestly don't know what do you call this style. I just thought it's his signature. Yeah. Ah. Good to know. Good to know. Hmm? Oh. I got a call. Give me a sec. All right, I'm back. My dad's call. Um. Zay, you're right. Check out my art. Pagman, I'll suck your cock. Okay, you don't need to suck my cock. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Please, sir. Ooh. You have your own art sketchbook. I like that. High five. I do have that too. Oh man, this brings back. I used to do this. I used to have this notebook that I just filled with sketches during my college and internship. Oh man, that brings back, man. Good stuff, dude. Keep at it. Keep at it. Ooh, wait, is that a self-portrait? The top left? Hold up. Is this a self-portrait? Oh my god, it's so big. What the fuck? This is a self-portrait, isn't it? Hey. It actually looks like you. Good shit, man. Of course with the fucking art style, but god damn. Was this there's a specific style for this. I forgot what it's called in English. I know what it's called in Indonesian. Where it's like it's kind of cartoonist but not really. Like it's trying to illustrate realistic stuff or usually realistic people, but into like it's something like there's a certain term for it, but I don't know. I forgot. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Ah, that brings back. I used to do sketches a lot. I'm probably gonna could show you guys sometime. I'm pretty sure I still have the sketchbook somewhere. uh, you're just mentioning about that too. Where what? You guys talk about that as well? What? I fucked up the dung eater puppet again, third time. Saints is immeasurably smart. Dung eater puppet? Dung eater have a puppet? Simonke. Yes. Thanks, right? No problem, dude. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, man. But yeah, chat. If you guys got some art, do share it in the Discord. Got a lot of art appreciator in the Discord. Go crazy, go crazy. Don't be shy. You know, one of the guys that like to post there a lot was Chingo. He's been posting a lot of his art there since like last year. Like he posts so much, I can see his improvement through his shares. It's crazy, man. It's actually nuts. I feel so happy whenever I see a lot of people improve. Like you can notice the improvement. It feels so nice because sometimes it's really hard for you to notice improvements because it takes a long time to really notice an improvement. So when you can notice it, it's actually fucking crazy. It's like mind-boggling. That's why I always tell people to never be shy about sharing your art. Because honestly, no matter whether you like that certain art or not, just fucking share it, man. One day you're gonna go back to that drawing and then compare it to your current, and you're like, holy shit, I drew this. You know what I mean? Like what I did yesterday. Do you guys remember the fucking when we checked out Rhea? My drawings of Rhea since 2019 until now. Like the fucking comparison is insane. 3 years apart. It's you get him as a puppet by using Sylvie's potion on him after he's chained to the chair, then helping Sylvie until he can ask him for a third puppet and buy Dung Eater for 5-star shards. Oh, that's why. I never did Sylvie's quest. That's why I didn't know. So what's up, Dega? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Eat it. That's cool. I'm pretty sure a lot of everyone who at some point in their life tried drawing experienced it as well. Like, you know, that feeling when after you finish or like you've done more than 50% of your drawing and you're like, this is not good enough. And then you just like delete it. Don't do that. Like if you have a habit of deleting or scrapping your art, never. Save every single of your drawing if you can. It's a really powerful, and I'm telling you based on my 10 years of drawing since fucking junior high school. It really does motivate you so fucking much. When you see your old drawing and your current drawing, it feels so nice. Because you put hours. And by hours, I mean years when you notice the improvements. And that shit's fucking strong, brother. Fucking strong. You make an emote of Leo dancing? That's actually one of our wish lists that a lot of people in the chat also want. But I just haven't got time to do it because I don't really do animation a lot, so drawing animation is gonna take a while. But yes, that is in one of our wish lists. Honestly, in the future, I do want to commission other artists as well to do my own emotes and stuff. Like, I get it, I'm an artist as well, but I also want other artist stuff to draw my stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm probably gonna commission someone as well in the future. I want to see other people draw Leo as well, you know? That'd be cool. That'd be nice. I'm not gonna post any of my work. I'm too embarrassed. Besides, most of my shits are unfinished ideas, but they look the same theme. I threw away a lot of my stuff. Don't do it. I completely understand if you're embarrassed. You don't have to do it, but you can look around in the arts and fan art section. You can see a lot of people also, like, you know, still learning. They're still improving. A lot of them actually start posting their drawing because, you know, I asked them if they want to. And like, for example, Chingo, the one person that posts a lot, if you just you can try this in the Discord. Just search that arts and fan arts in my Discord, and then Control F, and then look for Chingo, and then you'll see all of his posts in that section. And you can see, I swear to God, he improves a lot in the past couple months. And it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane, dude. It's so I don't know. It's like magic when you see an artist's improvements in real time. It's fucking magic. I don't know. It always motivates me. That's why I like to see other people's drawing as well. Because it also motivates me. Also, what's up, Paper? Fellow Atish, hello. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Mr. Treb, did you like my DM? Your DM? Wait. What do you mean like? Oh, I don't know about like, but I guess thank you for sharing. But yeah, that's why I encourage people to. You know, it doesn't have to be my Discord. You can make, let's say, as in right now, in my opinion, Twitter is probably the best place to share your art because it's like everyone's there. For now, till we have a better website. Just make an account, share your stuff there, and yeah, you know, go ham. Don't be shy. Like no one, no one's gonna fucking like, when you post your art and be like, "Yo, your art sucks. You shit, man. You suck. You poo poo." Like no one. I swear to you, no one's gonna do that. Trust me. No one's gonna get their own way, out of their way to do that. If there is, it's probably just a troll. No, no one's really do that. Imagine though. Told you Malika. God damn it, Saints. Paper? Yeah. It's paper talisman. Same theme I always draw is over exaggerated body gore, so I don't know that's I to post. Uh Try DM me. Let me see. If that makes you a little bit more comfortable, I can check it out myself. And don't worry, I'm actually I grew up with some gore art as well. I grew up with those body horror. In fact, I actually grew up with one of those artists that I actually appreciate a good body horror arts in horror games or movies or animation. It still freaks me out, but at the same time, it's like, holy shit, how did they do that? You know what I mean? Bruh, flush DM with Mr. Red. Okay, just share your art. It's nothing, unless you want, unless you want to, continue more than sharing art. Wing wing, nudge nudge. But after posted, that voice is in my head. What? After posted? What do you mean? Also, what's up, Eva? You like Berserk, of course you're used to it. True, true. Berserk. Although I do feel like Berserk. Oh, quick. Berserk horror is not that bad. Body horror. If anything, that's like a good. Uh, that's why Berserk is such a uh, well received by a lot of people. Is because it's not overly edgy with the body horror. Like it's enough to let the people, the reader, know that this comic is an adult manga. It's not for kids. You do not read this with an underage. This is just a pure brutal. So please, it's an 18 plus manga. Berserk is. So yeah, it's actually good. A good example of a gore in a manga. Berserk. Good job. Don't listen to the voices. They want you to play Origins. Oh god, that's not the voices. That's just you. Sorry, that was the voices. Oh my god. Sorry if I sniffles a lot. I think I'm getting sick. God damn it. I hate it when I get sick on the weekend, man. I just want to fucking have fun. Enjoy my time, bro. Let me get sick on the weekdays so I can get off the work. Actually, no, I hate it as well. Just don't get sick, man. I'm alert now. Maybe DM you later at have fun drawing. Alright, no. Thank you for stopping by. Red, if I stream Origin NG Plus, will you watch? Listen, I would probably try, but it's not you, it's the game. All right, I probably am not gonna enjoy the game. That's the thing. I'm just being honest here. I'm just being honest. The game's probably gonna bore the shit out of me. I'm sorry. Just tell your employers you have cicadus disease. What is this? Keck insane. Every time I see that emote. Sick of these? Oh. Wait, why didn't you finish it? You should have said, sick of these nuts, Reds. Like, what? You didn't get me. Come on. That's a missed opportunity. What the fuck? This is... That's not how you do it, you You should have fucking obliterate me. Come on. Oh, shit. You should have say it, man. You should have say it. Just finish me. I'm gonna note that though. Mine now, yoing. Sick of these nuts. So dumb. Sorry. I wonder what we're gonna play today. Actually, I haven't got any idea. I was thinking about trying some new games on Steam. Will we ever play game? I play games, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Iwa, do you play other games other than Apex lately? Do you have? Because I'm not gonna lie, lately I've been like in this phase of like I don't know what to play kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, Division 2. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Oh shit. The fuck was that? Did you guys hear that? Too much VR, need some brainless stuff. Is Division's kind of brainless? I thought Division also a little bit intense. I always thought Division's a little bit intense. Probably something behind. No, I think someone's watching horror movies. I hear like a shriek, like ah. Kinamunga is. PvE is brainless unless you want a PvP. Oh, true, true. Guess you could put it like that, yeah. I don't know though. I kind of feel like I don't know. I don't know if it's because of work or what. Like I feel too so lazy to try to commit to a game again. It's been a while since the last time I do that. So yeah. Yeah. Like off stream, if I'm not streaming, I actually don't play games that much. But I try to like just only play games on stream so I don't get bored too easily when playing games. Just sounds kind of weird, but you know, I'm pretty sure you kind of understand. It affected. Oh my back, fuck. Yeah, one of these days is where I actually need one of those like heavily machined chair where kind of like massage you. Oh, that would be so nice if I have that right now. Fuck. Mostly work is won't have time to catch up, so you decide on games that you can just lay off easy. I know. Fuck, man. Being an adult fucking sucks. Ugh. I don't know. Paper have one? What? My grandpa used to have one as well. Whenever I visit their house growing up, I always use that chair. It's like holy shit. Mom, we should have that, Mom. uh, but not gonna lie, if I have that, I would probably sleep forever. Like every time I get a chance to sit on that chair, I'll just sleep. I'll just pass out. So at the same time, as much as I want it, I'm probably not gonna buy it if even if I can, because I'm probably gonna be sleeping all fucking day in that chair. Because whenever I sit there, I would pass out in like 15 minutes max. I can massage you. Security. If someone can death hug you till your back cracks. I actually used to have that friend that always do that. He's a he's a I forgot what's the name. Acrobatics or something like that guy. So I always know how to do those kind of stuff. It's so fucking nice though. But it's a little bit scary every time he did it, but it's always nice. Like, oh yeah, that's the spot. You know? Nanikore. Eh? The fuck did you get there? Or Cairo? The fuck is Cairo? Isn't Cairo a fucking country? Cairo? Unless you're talking about a chiropractor? I don't think chiropractor's written that way. I think it's like CHI. Isn't it? I forgot. Chiropractor. Yeah, CHI, not CAI. Yeah, Cairo is a fucking country, man. It's a city. The capital city of Egypt. Not country, sorry. My geographic sucks. My head just think fucking never mind. So dumb. Uh, but yeah. I don't know. Me and my work colleagues actually was joking around like a couple of days ago, and we talked about if that we should go to a massage after the project ends because of how fucking stressful it is. It's like you guys, the project manager is like, you guys, once we finish this, I'm gonna get you guys all a fucking free massage, all right? It's like, okay. I never went to a massage place. I don't really know what to expect. Also, I'm not really comfortable with those stuff. So yeah, I don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I wanna. Does any of you guys ever went to like a massage place? It's very common in Asia, but I don't know if it's common in Western. And I'm talking about legit. right? I'm talking about legit massage place, not not the others, not the not the other one, not that one. It's like an actual massage place. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Like one of those massage and spa place thingy. Your mom gives me a legit massage. Good one. Ah, go on, you son of a bitch. I need to do cleaner line arts. I'm too lazy. Sit. Yeah. Give me prog metal. Da -da -da -da. Oh my god. I feel so fucking tired today. Don't you just hate it when you're tired on the weekend or when the weekend just starts? It fucking sucks. Too conscious about people touching me, so no. Yeah, I know what you mean. For me, I don't know if I should say this. I, um, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I should say it. I'm a pretty vocal. So it's kind of not it's kind of weird. Cuz massage is nice, right? When you get a massage just like, it hits the spot, it's like, "Oh my god, that's so good." But like I don't mind if it's like in private and shit, but if it's like like a service, I'd rather not. I don't know. You know what I mean. Not to be touched. Like it's a little bit embarrassing. Better. Dum. Fish. Yeah, I feel so tired, man. Maybe we can chill with the drawing today. I wonder if there's a game that we can just try. But like a chill game. What's a good chill game, chat? Is there like a good, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a new game, but a good game that we can just play while chilling. I usually would just like play Subnautica, dude, but fuck. Subnautica 2 sucks. Sleep? I'd rather not on a night, Friday night. I want to be as awake as I can. Also, fun fact, I hate sleeping. I know that sounds weird, but I'm that guy that I wish I don't have to go to sleep. Because I always constantly remind myself that as when I go to sleep, I don't do anything where I could do something, and I hate that. I know it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Maybe that's why I have a fucking sleeping problem. I constantly fight myself to not go to sleep. Oh boy. Fortnite la babaje. I'm sorry. I saw Fortnite for a second. Um. Oh no. I need to go to the bathroom. Need to go to the toilet. Saints, are you there? You guys got any like good long video or like 10-minute ish? 10 to 15 minutes? No. No. Postal 1? Okay, I don't know about that one. Something else. Looks like a very depressing fucking video. You have something else? Let me see. Better, 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 better. Depressing good? No. Something that I can like leave because I want to watch that stuff as well. Let me see. Polygon uploaded this fucking 27 minutes video about how Call of Duty turned war into a circus. That could be a good video for later. But for now... Okay, I know what kind of video I should... Second. Upload a new video. Oh, it does. Okay. No, you got. What is that? Can you do wheelies with duct tapes? No, no, no. Don't worry, don't worry. With that. This one's good. This one's good. Hold up. Woo! God. Oh, solo though. I don't know. Oh my god, I fucking hate. Dude, my browser is so fucking shit, man. It's so laggy.
If you've ever had
Re Okay.
when it comes to the beautiful art,
Alright, this one is good. This one is good. Just put this on. Oh, fuck. Look at that. BRB. Okay. Alright. Enjoy. I'll be right back. Oh, no wonder my browser is so fucking scuffed. Fortnite downloading in the background. Stop. Alright. Alright, enjoy the video. I'll be right back.
if you've ever had really crispy, crunchy French toast at like a restaurant, they probably put some kind of crumb coating on it, or they deep fried it, or both. I did not deep fry these, but I did do a crumb coating, and they are crispy AF, and yet not at all greasy inside. You can make French toast with any bread, but I'm not alone in thinking that brioche or challah are the best options. Both styles of bread have egg, and the egg keeps the bread from just dissolving and going mushy when soaked in custard. This is brioche, nice thick slices. Traditionally, French toast is made with day-old bread, and you could just leave these slices out overnight to stale. But according to my experiments, it works just as well to toast the bread with really low heat. It isn't the staling per se that improves French toast, it's really the drying. I need to heat my oven for this recipe anyway, so I've just put my bread straight onto the bars, and now I'll turn the heat on something moderate, 350 Fahrenheit, 180 C, something like that. I might flip them after a few minutes. I'm not looking to really brown these, I just want them dry, and they'll dry some more as they cool and steam off for a few minutes. You can fry French toast in any fat, including butter, but in my experiments, it really comes out better with clarified butter. I've got a stick, 113 grams, in a little pot. Should be enough to fry 6 pieces. Literally just turn the heat on low and let it sit for about 10 minutes. It'll melt, then boil off most of its water, then it'll start fizzing, and the milk solids will kind of curdle and eventually start turning golden. It'll start to smell like caramel, and that's it. You can strain it through a paper towel to make it extra squeaky clean, but most of the milk solids will just get caught in the sieve. You can, of course, buy clarified butter or ghee from an Indian grocery, but we'll use all of that for just this breakfast. Clarified butter, by the way, gets a more even and lighter golden crust than whole butter would. The milk solids tend to overcook. I think you'll need at most 1 egg for every 2 pieces. I usually use half that. It depends on how custardy you like your French toast. And if you're going for a sweet breakfast vibe, you could throw in like a teaspoon of sugar per egg and maybe a splash of vanilla. Oh, and a little pinch of salt, mostly to help the egg thin out. Though if I was using unsalted butter, I would use 2 pinches. Now, a roughly equal quantity of milk or cream. I did a side-by-side test, and cream really does taste a lot better, surprise, surprise, so I'm doing cream. You really got to stir this smooth. If the egg is still all thick like that, it's going to have trouble absorbing into the bread. Really bash it with a fork or a whisk until the custard is nice and smooth. Oh, and one other thing, if you want it, cinnamon. It doesn't really dissolve in there, it just kind of floats, that's fine. Pour that into some kind of walled, flat vessel. A cake pan works really well, too. I'll grab another plate and pour on my crumb coating. Cornflake crumbs would be traditional and they have a nice flavor, but no substance on earth is as crispy as panko. Maybe a cup of that. One thing I like to do is grind the panko down with my hands a little bit. I don't want a super coarse crumb stabbing me in the mouth. Yes, panko is still crispier than other breadcrumbs, even if you grind it down a little. Alrighty, there's my dried and cooled bread and my clarified butter. We're ready. And everything up to this point you could do the night before breakfast. You could cook this in any pan, but if you use a non-stick, you can get away with using only a very thin film of clarified butter. Minimizing that fat is good when we're frying something as absorbent as dried bread. That thin film should lubricate things as effectively as the sponsor of this video lubricates my experience of the internet. I'm talking about Surfshark. Let me thank them. Say you want to buy something on the internet, but they're going to charge you extra based on where they think you are going by your internet service provider. It's no problem. Just fire up Surfshark VPN on any of your devices, and you send your traffic through one of Surfshark's secure servers in a different country. Boom, problem solved. Same thing works if you are denied content based on where your internet service provider is. Surfshark has servers in nearly any country you could think of. It's also good to use a VPN if you're on public Wi-Fi somewhere. Plus, Surfshark has tons of other tools for staying safe on the internet, like Surfshark Alert. There's Surfshark Antivirus, and there's Surfshark Search, private searching with no ads or tracking. Best part, Surfshark is cheap if you use my link and code in the description. You'll get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. Just use my code AdamRagusia, one word, for 83% off. Thank you, Surfshark. So the way Lauren likes me to make French toast is a real quick dip in the custard. She does not want the interior to be wet. I just get the outside wet and then dip this straight into the breadcrumbs. By the way, don't try to put cinnamon or other spices in the breadcrumbs. They're liable to burn in there. The cinnamon will be somewhat protected underneath the crumbs. I'd mop up the butter with the toast a little bit just to make sure you've got a nice even layer of fat down there to fry the surface. You want a nice gentle sizzle. This is like medium-low on my stove. First side should only need a couple of minutes, and when it's time to flip, you might be tempted to use tongs, but they tend to crush the bread irreparably at this stage, so I use a spatula even though it's kind of awkward. Again, I'd move things around just to mop up some of that butter. If you don't, the bottom tends to brown unevenly. And I often find that I need to reduce my heat slightly at this stage. The browning can get out of hand really fast. That one's a little too dark, and that one's a little too light. Once you've got the outside somewhat crispy and firm, you can start flipping frequently, which is good because then there's no surprises. I can give that one the heat that it needs, and this one I think is done. When you've done just a quick dip in the custard, the toast is done when the outside looks done. You don't have to worry about the inside getting cooked. Let it drain and cool on a rack, and it'll stay crispy for a long time. Another bonus of using a thin film of butter or oil is that I can just wipe this out with a paper towel now. I don't have to worry about trying to fish out all those burned bits before I fry my next batch. I'm going to start fresh with a new film of clarified butter. This batch I'll do more the way I like it, which is to let the bread really soak up some custard. How long it will take will depend on the bread and how dry you got it, but I let these soak a couple of good minutes, to the point where I could feel the bread going soft again near its core. It's still a little firm, it's not totally soaked through. Some people like it totally soaked through. I've heard about people leaving the bread submerged overnight. These are not going to be that custardy inside, but they're still going to be more custardy than the batch I fried for Lauren. Nice light crumb topping, nice gentle sizzle in the pan, and if you've soaked your bread through, you got to worry about cooking the inside, not just the outside. There's a real risk the outside will be burned by the time the inside custard is set. So either you can take your heat way down low and just cook these very slowly in the pan, or you can do what is my preference, which is to quickly brown the outside just as we did before, a couple of minutes on each side. Look, you can see that piece puffing up. That's the extra moisture on the inside steaming up. It still feels a little squishy and raw on the inside. So I will remove these to the rack, and I will finish cooking them in my moderately hot oven. You can just throw the rack in there if it's heat safe. The earlier batch, too. With the panko crumb on it, you can make a ton of French toast in advance and then crisp it back up in the oven right before everybody eats. If anything, it'll be even crispier. So now I've got 5 or 10 minutes where I can clean up and maybe whip some cream. We already have cream for the custard. Just whip it on low speed for a couple of minutes until it starts to thicken up. Then you can boost the power without it splashing. The trick with whipped cream is to stop whipping right before it goes from being smooth and silky like that to being kind of rough and cheesy. And there I crossed the line. Nothing to be done about it. It's still going to taste great, especially if I put in a handful of sugar and a drop or two of vanilla. Mix that up, done. So you know these are going to be crispy again if you open up the oven and you can see the crust bubbling just a little bit. That's absorbed butter refrying the surface. I think I had those in there like 7 minutes, which is plenty to get the custard cooked through in the wetter batch. Here's the batch that's still dry in the center. That's Lauren's preference. A little cream on top. Some berries would be very nice. And fine Canadians, I caved and I got some real maple syrup. You can really pour it on, too, because this is going to be crispy pretty much no matter what you do to it. Listen. Now remember, this is the one we just quick dipped in the custard, and so the inside just tastes like toast because that's all it is. Really light, really crunchy, nice if you're into that. These are my pieces, which are much heavier because they really soaked up some custard. They're still basically dry at the very center, but much more of their girth is custard, and the custard cooked through because we baked this. Whatever you do, definitely take time to dry the bread before you French toast it. When the bread is still fresh and moist inside, it just kind of collapses in the pan. It comes out floppy and smashed flat. This is still kind of airy inside, which is why it is crispy. Crunch plus air equals crisp, and bread plus butter and egg and cream equals Sunday morning breakfast in my book.
I'm back. What the fuck? It was actually perfect timing. I didn't even get to watch what it is. Is it a good video? God damn. Huh? Oh fuck. What should we play today, chat? What should we play today? I don't think there's any good new games coming out recently. Bit a bit, bit a bit, bit a bit, bit a bit. Okay, this song is still hardcore. Oh, I have an odd question. Was your mom a cow? Was it based on a Balkan versus Balkan meme? That was. I don't even know what Balkan is. It's one of those, you know. Oh, your mom's so fat, she's a cow. It's like one of those shit. So, it's one of those jokes become an emote. It's not me, it's just one of the popular one. One of the popular emote, basically. Oh no, my internet's dropping. Why? Okay, it's not dropping that hard. Then we can still play some games. By the way, chat, refresh the stream. Sorry, I forgot. I spaced out for a bit. Ding dong. Or no delay. There you go. Balkan v Balkan is basically Balkans slandering each other with different names. What is Balkan though? That's the one that I don't know. Balkan. Balkan regions in Europe. Oh, it's just more a EU thing. I see. Well, it's a thing as well in US. It's actually a very common joke in US or NA. But it's just so very internet culture. Like, you know, I fuck your mom, lol. It's those kind of stuff. It's those kind of stuff. Very iconic exhibit. Okay. Let's do some React Andy a little bit. I'm a little bit bored. Not bored. Sure. What to do? My brain's a little bit laggy for drawing right now. So link it up, link it up. Like this as well. What the fuck is this? Okay, let me just wait, Ice Cream Sandwich have a video 11 days ago and I haven't watched it? What the fuck? I never miss his video. That's weird. Okay. Okay, let's see your video first. Then we'll go to the other one. Average Greek versus Turk debate.
Yes.
But I am more white than you. You look gypsy. I am blonde hair. Blonde hair I have. You gypsy.
That means that someone fucked your mother that is your kid, but your father is not. Oh, your mother is a whore and she got fucked from someone. You are weak sperm. You are weak sperm. This is the strong sperm. This is the Greek god. Okay, Greek god.
If you have Greek god, you would have win, but you lose.
Lose where? Lose where?
You lose. Why is Hagia Sophia this? Not.
What? What? I don't. Okay. Interesting. Thank you. What? I kind of understand, but not really. It's a little bit hard to understand that video, but thank you, thank you. So by the way, Mary.
Think of the best place.
Oh.
Think of the best place you can get an amazing slice of pizza. Just the best, juiciest, most delicious slice you can think of. Where on earth is that slice? That's right.
Italy.
New York. It's New
It's
York.
Italy.
Dude, shut up. Recently, Kelly and I set up a trip to go see friends in New York. This is Kelly, by the way. I don't think I've introduced her to you yet. Kelly, meet subscribers. Subscribers, meet Kelly. We're gonna go see friends. It's very exciting. Yet there was one thing I had on my mind for this trip. Pizza. I see in media all over the
Pizza.
place. Hey, New York slice this, New York slice that. I'm walking here. So I created this image in my head and I was like, wow, New York slice pizza must be like the best pizza ever. And now I am landing in a place where that pizza is. So the day comes around, we're ready to fly, but as luck would have it, our flight is canceled due to weather.
What?
But good news is that there was
Here's the one here.
tour
Okay,
to Chicago
listen,
that
hear me
could
out.
still get us there the same day.
Dear
So we
Samuel,
get to
thank you for the follow.
But bad news is that pesky little weather problem
Dear
comes
Samuel,
rearing its
sorry.
ugly head once more. And normally that's not a problem, but our connecting flight would then take off before the first one lands, and then we would just miss it. I was feeling a little spicy, so I said, Kelly, if we go and lose the bet, then we're just stuck in Chicago, and we grab a hotel, get some room service, and party like we're stuck in Chicago with no responsibilities, because that's literally what would be happening. Or we go. Somehow, the second flight also gets delayed. We go to New York, and we're back on track to get exactly what we wanted in the first place. That's a win-win. Life is short, you know? You gotta be crazy sometimes. Make bad decisions. So we did. So we're on the plane. It takes off. The flight went fine. There was no peanuts, though. How am I expected to survive and thrive in these conditions? We land and our second flight is delayed, but it's on the other side of the airport. It's leaving in like 45 minutes and we're on the back of the plane. So we have to run. And while we're running through the airport, we're like taking wrong directions, getting lost. Kelly's bag actually bursts open. Oh God! And when we finally find our gate, we're actually 20 minutes early. And then some guy laughed at me. Turns out we didn't need to run at all. I was sweaty, tired, embarrassed, but you know, I didn't care. Pizza's on the way. I feel great. And the trip isn't even over yet. The plane had even more complications, if you can believe it. But hold on, I need to be somewhere. I'll be right back. This video is sponsored by Keeps. You ever wish that you could get your life together? Yeah.
Me too.
Anyway, on an unrelated note, Keeps is a subscription service that delivers hair loss treatment to your door. You might be thinking. And I say, yeah, good question. All
I did not expect the Animal Crossing.
Or you might be thinking. And I say, yeah, good question. All Keeps treatment plans are doctor recommended and delivered straight to your door at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. Also, Keeps has an award-winning all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system that makes your hair strong and robust. Keeps has a network of medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists that you can contact, and they can support you with whatever hair goals you may have. Several people who have witnessed users of Keeps have survived. Here's what they have to say. They had great hair. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off on your first order, go to keeps.com/ice cream sandwich or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/ice cream sandwich. Keeps. Buy Keeps today, and I'll let you keep your life. So we get on this next
Wait, what?
flight, the connecting plane. We couldn't leave for an extra 40 minutes because of the bad weather that had happened before. And there was talk, there was discussion from the captain. He's like, hey, guys, if we fly out tonight, we might just land in D.C. which, you know, not what I paid for, but I guess it is the preferable option, all things considering. Eventually, things cleared up. He's like, okay, let's go. What? Then there was like a shift change in the pull crew, so nobody was present to move the plane to the tracks runway. So we were just stuck. Like, this whole trip to get to New York was exhausting. Eventually, the plane flies in New York. The turbulence wasn't too bad. We do land alive. After we land, we try to take a taxi and almost get scammed because I was too tired to realize there was just some random guy trying to charge people several times higher than actual taxi rates to drive people into the city. But then we got suspicious and just went on a normal taxi. It's 3 a.m. We get to the apartment.
Scammers, nopers.
Beat to the bone. But you know what? Pizza's on the horizon. So the following day, immediately, the first thing I see when I get outside, we see a lizard on a leash. There's people everywhere, and everybody's hot. It's insane. The most I can dress up is like a shirt, maybe break out my nice jeans if we're really going out. But the people in New York, they're like two ends of this fashionable spectrum. They're either fashionable gods that just walked off the runway, or they just like got run over, which can also be considered fashionable. Generally, wherever you walk in New York, you're walking over trash, but then you turn to your right and it's the most pristine, pure store that you've ever seen. It was the most contrasting place I've ever been in my life. There was no middle ground for anything.
It's New
But all in
York.
all, I'm really charmed by New York. And it took a couple days after we arrived, but we think after a day of touring, maybe let's get some drinks and then go eat that
shit, sorry.
pizza. Get that New York slice. And I'm ready for it. We find this pizza place.
Welcome
Almost
back, Lucas.
literally a hole in the wall, and it's everything I imagined. There was this good amount of wear and tear, no door, and no wider than two people laid sideways.
What
Look
the
at the
fuck?
signage on this thing. I immediately fell in love. I got myself 2 slices and a Dr. Pepper, and the wait is finally over. I finally get to take my bite. Let me explain this flavor to you. The cheese tasted stale. There was a subtle hint of cardboard in every bite. And do I sense a
no.
hint of came out of the oven 20 minutes ago? And by golly, is that 10 times my daily salt intake? And all that sounds pretty bad. But I am dead serious when I say that was one of the best slices I have ever had. Think about it. Has food tasted better after you've been eating a lot of it or after a great amount of effort? And so, like, I guess what I'm trying to
True.
say, it's not really about the destination. It really is about the friends you make along the way.
Yes.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I just really like salt.
Oh, look, that's the video where I found ice cream sandwich. Oh, it's such a good video. Can we watch this again? Let's watch this again. I like this. I love this video, dude.
Feelings for you. Can't you look the other way? Just this once.
It's always a good video to come back to.
You played me for a sucker, Penny. I'm not going out like that.
You know, a lot of people are interested in VR now, but I'm still not sure they understand what buying a headset actually means. If only there were another YouTuber out there with way more subscribers than me who I could talk to about VR.
Yeah, I can.
Intruder!
No, I just want to talk about VR.
Wait, I misclicked shit.
I just want to talk about VR.
Oh.
So, VR, right? Kind of an expensive hobby to get into.
Yeah, it sure is.
True.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to make sure you always get the best deals when shopping online?
What?
Introducing Honey.
What are we doing?
It's an ad. We're doing an ad. Here's a script.
okay.
Honey is a free browser extension that automatically...
applies the best.
What are you doing?
Wait, are we not?
No, this is my part. I read my part and
I
then I
thought we
pass
were
it off
reading
to
this
you. It
together
says
because of how
right here.
you-
Honey is a free browser extension that automatically scans for and applies the best coupon codes to your card at checkout across more than 20,000 websites,
I love
including
this
Best Buy,
video.
Walmart, and Target.
Oh, before I found out about Honey, the promo box at checkout stressed me out. Like, quote, should I be typing something in there? But now I use Honey, and I do not have that problem. You might ask.
You might ask, does Honey really work? Stupid question, but it sure does. So far, they've saved their users a combined more than $1 billion in savings. Wow. Pretty cool, huh, Andy?
Yeah. Honey is a free browser extension
That is my line, and I've already said it.
Wait, shit, really?
You're really screwing this up for me right now,
I
dude.
know,
What's the viewer gonna think? I have a brand to maintain.
I bought a pizza online.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I saved 352 on it using Honey.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah.
Downloading Honey is easy. 2 clicks, just 1, 2. This thing works for practically anything, so it's honestly good for practically anyone. What's your favorite thing about Honey, Andy?
I like how you can.
That's great. My favorite thing is how they don't sell your personal information. That's not on the script. I just like mentioning that.
There's no reason not to use Honey.
It's free and installs with just 2 clicks.
I do not receive any royalties for appearing in this video.
Honey is not paying him, I am not paying him, and he should really finish reading the script I gave him.
Click the link in the description to download Honey now.
That's joinhoney.com/noodle. You're supposed to say it with me.
Oh, sorry.
That's joinhoney.com/noodle. And thank you to Honey for giving me money.
I love this ad.
Can I have a chair?
No.
Hey, you have an Oculus. You like it?
Yeah, it's pretty epic. I mean, there are hardly any games for it, and if you ask me how I feel about the Rift S being less than half of what I paid for my Rift, not including the touch controls, I'd say that I'm going to separate your teeth from your skull. And when it's not collecting dust, it's a lot of fun. Beat Saber's good, Boneworks is real nice, it's good stuff. Shit, you're right.
Wait, Rift used to be $700? Holy shit. That sucks.
Alright, I don't feel so bad anymore.
Open robot box for prize.
Oh, dude, right? Really? You piece of shit! You know, like, being able to literally exist in a virtual world is some future shit. It's an idea we've all been collectively fascinated with since, like, the beginning of time.
You mean the 80s?
Whatever. Point is here now, and it's kind of a mess.
Yeah, when I first got my headset, I was expecting something different.
Yeah, I think until you reach the point where you actually have a headset strapped to your fat dome, it can be easy to get this naive, rose-tinted idea of what it'll be like when you actually have your hands on it.
Yeah, like Boneworks. I played like 3 minutes and it made me sick.
But video game good.
No.
If you're disagreeing with public opinion right now, you're about to get lynched.
They didn't even call it a game. It's an experimental physics VR adventure.
He's just mad because he couldn't play it.
No.
Okay, fine. Here you go. Play it.
Fine, I will. Okay, fine. You're right, but that's just because walking with a thumbstick makes me sick. If they added teleportation or something, at least I'd be able to play.
They do.
You know, that's a good point.
Really?
No, but to be fair, Boneworks is a bit special. There's a reason it's called an experiment instead of a game. It's
true.
pretty much the only VR title out there right now that has a physical instance of you, the player, that's you, in the world, as opposed to any other VR game where you're just a head and a couple of hands that clip through walls. Put your hand through a wall in Antarctica, just go straight through. You're like a ghost, except boring and lame. Unlike me, who is very interesting. Boneworks, on the other hand, is a game that tries to more closely mimic real-world physical interaction. But the ironic thing is that the closer we get to reality, the more the unrealistic stuff sticks out. Oh, wait. Oh. No, stop! Example. It's impossible with current technology to let players just actually walk around with their legs in a big old world with changes in elevation without actually putting them there. You're probably thinking the obvious answer is to just let players move around with the thumbstick, same as any other video game, but doing that makes people like Andy lose their lunch. If you thought it was that simple, I'm deducting 5 IQ points for how stupid you were for thinking that. Fuck you. What?
You can't say the fuck word on YouTube.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Unbelievable.
Just take over for me for a bit. I'm gonna go fix it.
Oh,
Hello.
Fuck you.
1 second. I didn't say this to someone, I forgot.
What?
You can't say the fuck word on YouTube.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Unbelievable.
Just take over for me for a bit. I'm gonna go fix it.
Oh, so what's up?
Tell them about your dumb square brain and how it rejects movement.
It's a condition. Okay, do you ever get on a boat and then you're like, oh god, oh. It's like that. Your ears are scared and confused, but it's your inner ear, which is what is your brain's what tells your brain positional data. Like if you're laying down,
Yes.
tilting your head, getting run over, checking your mail. If your eyes are seeing motion that your ears aren't experiencing, then your brain doesn't like that. And it works the other way too. So if your inner ears are feeling, wait, no. If your, yeah, no, that's right. If your inner ears are feeling motion, but your eyes don't see any, then it's the same thing happens. If your brain wants to throw up.
Okay, I just got done talking to Susan Bozaski, and she said she'll let it slide this time. Anyway, to pick up where I left off, Andy can't play video games because his sad, depressing body dislikes fun. And apparently, there are enough people with this exact problem that Locomotion had to be completely redesigned for Oculus & Co. That's why I see so many VR games with teleportation or other weird, unconventional ways to move around. It's sure as shit not enhancing the experience, but it's the only way some people can handle VR at all. And that's not even diving into all the other strange things that can apparently help people. Stuff like limiting your field of view, snap turning, slapping a fake virtual nose on top of your real one, or just good old-fashioned exposure therapy. For someone without genetic inhibitions, however, this stuff is more annoying than anything. Playing a game like Arctica 1, where you can only teleport to a few preset locations, like you're playing Time Crisis 2, isn't exactly what I'd call the ideal gamer experience. Sponsored by Razer, it's not for nothing.
But yeah, but like you said, without that stuff, most people like me wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah, but features that let more people have fun is less fun for me,
okay, but
which is far more important.
Wouldn't it be better if games just have
both of
more
them
features and let you turn them off if you don't need them?
What
Jesus,
the fuck
are
why
you talking
here?
about?
Get the fuck out!
He's right, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I get Boneworks has parts where you have to climb and all. There's no way to physically do that stuff if you teleport. Having something like a vignette would have been nice, though.
Yeah, and that's just one problem. There's also the whole physical interaction thing. Like in a video game, there's sort of this inherent disconnect between you and the character on screen. We know that walking towards a wall means the character will stop moving when they reach the wall, even if we tell them to keep going. That's not really realistic in the most literal sense, but it's intuitive, and it makes sense in practice. In VR, you can throw that shit right out the fucking window, because it does not apply. Put your head through a wall and budget cuts, go straight through. Man, that is weird. What the fuck? I keep bringing up Boneworks, but it's like the only exception. Since your body physically exists in the game, it tries to treat it more realistically. Push your hand past a wall, your hand just stops. Try to walk through a wall.
Yeah, this game is
Instead,
fucking...
you just kind of walk in place.
That
freaks
sounds
me
really
out.
disorienting.
It is, but it's better than clipping through walls, probably. I mean, until the day we can apply Newton's third law to virtual big titty anime girls, it's about as close to reality as we're gonna get. And when it works, it's great.
I want to go back to this game. Dude, this is one of the best game I played that I actually get sick on. Like, it's so fucking annoying that I get sick playing this game. Like, I cannot play this game more than 2 hours. Usually 3 hours is my limit. 2 to 3 hours, I will get, like, eventually will get sick. I don't understand. But I don't know, man. It sucks. I wish I can enjoy this game a little bit longer. This game is fucking sick.
And when it doesn't, it's awful. I hate it so much. You know when you're pushing a physics engine a little too hard and the game just kind of... Yeah, that happens in VR too, and it's terrifying.
Look at this friend. Look at this guy.
Oh yeah!
Since VR's control scheme is inherently a lot closer to real life, the liberties that we take in order to make stuff work in a video game are a lot more noticeable when you're wearing a headset. In Half-Life, you press a button and you're done. Weapon ready. In Boneworks, you take your hand, reach over to your hip, grab, hold on holster, aim, fire. It's really fucking cool when it works.
True.
Other times, you'll reach behind your back to pull out a crowbar and hook it onto your own neck. Or you'll try to reload your gun, but grab too high and throw it across the room. Or you'll holster your gun. Or you'll holster your gun. Or you'll holster your fucking gun. Oh my god.
Come on, it's not that bad.
Here, have a seat. Look, realism is great. It's all well and good. But there's only so far you can bend the rules before they break.
Yeah, like, I think that's why Beat Saber works. It was made with all that stuff in mind.
The limitations, you mean?
Yeah, think about it. Movement's not a problem because you don't move. Everything moves to you instead.
The physics
That's
work
true.
fine because the only thing you're holding is a couple of laser swords.
Huh.
That's true.
Realistic doesn't mean better, right? Like if I'm driving a car in Burnout, I don't really want to feel like I'm there. I mean, I bet the reloading in Boneworks feels great, but just pressing a button is a lot more practical. You know?
Yeah, and boring. In Robo Recall, when your gun runs dry, you just spawn a new one. Also, you can use your empty gun as a projectile. And if it lands a full hit, the gun will bounce back and you have a full clip again.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too. Except it was made by the people who made Fortnite. So actually, I hate it. Worst game. Would not recommend.
I don't know. I think Fortnite has some good mechanics.
No.
I just think until VR reaches a point where it gets close enough to reality, developers will need to take creative liberties in how they interpret stuff. Like gun. You can't run across a room, you can't climb up a ledge, and you can't lean up against a wall without crushing your cat. It's really easy to forget how much video games take liberties with this stuff in ways VR just can't.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a game about super violent gunplay. Yes, but it's also a game about mobility and running. It's a running gun. That's the whole point. If you take away the run,
Doom VR is so dumb. It's so dumb.
it doesn't really work. It wasn't built for just run.
So what you're saying is it's a new medium? Because no shit.
Well, yeah, it totally is a new medium. But there are people saying it's a gimmick and people saying that it's the future, and both are kind of dumb. Imagine saying movies were gonna be a gimmick when black and white was all there was. Fuck.
So it's not objectively better or worse, it's just objectively different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
VR's baby.
Don't ever say that again.
Okay, well, it's not really fair to say it sucks or it's gonna replace movies or whatever until we wait for it to mature.
Yeah, it's fair, I guess, but...
Meow
I mean,
meow
more
meow,
people are
watch
gonna
the
need
postal
to, like,
video, you
own
gluteus
it
maximus
in order
meow
for
meow.
Okay,
people to
okay,
want
okay,
to
Jesus.
make games for it.
I'm listening to
Yeah.
the video.
So how's it gonna get mass adoption?
Well, come on, you and I both know the answer
Get cheaper.
to that.
Oh yeah, Half-Life
Pornography.
Alex.
Huh?
What?
Demo videos are filmed in front of a live studio audience and sponsored in part by...
He meant to say VR chat. Okay. Postal video. When you say that, you should fucking link it again, man, because I missed the video and it's not here anymore. Can you link it again? Do. Meanwhile,
I am Melina. I offer you
The all-new Accord with Honda Sensing.
Okay, man.
Now with standard safety features that can help you stop or stay in your lane. It's
good one. This is kind of dumb, but I like whatever. Held the. Oh my. Okay. Who animated this? This is fucking nice. Roger. Godric the Golden. Oh my god. Damn, that's a nice video. That's a nice animation, I mean. Ah, what the fuck? New subscriber. Dopa 2 make an Elden Ring video? Okay, we have to watch this. I did not know. Or in advance. I got it. Hold up. After this, yeah? Ah. Harry.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Flame of ambition. Well, thou art.
Great asshole felt. That's true. It's a good gameplay. Brazil. Kaylit. Nothing worse than a dog, never mind. Good one. I don't remember that magician. Find your character. Ah, yes. Good one. Dopa 2 once again. Nailed it. Good shit, man. Good shit. Alright, what's this? What year is this? Whoa! Good time. This is some 2010 YouTube. Good one. Why you always at the girls? Why you always at the girls? Why you always at the girls? Go on. Jesus Christ, okay. That's some throwback, dude. That's like 10 years ago. Holy shit. What is this? This shit slaps? Oh, Electrain. Ah, good one. Skipping Postal? Hold up, Postal is long. I'm doing the short one first. What the fuck? Which member of Vocaloid is this? I'm confused. What the fuck is going on here? Is that Magma? Okay, it's still halfway. Okay, this is a pretty long video. Alright, next one. How dark is Postal 1?
In 2003, Running with Scissors released Postal 2 to a trailer load of controversy, enough so to get the game censored or outright banned in multiple countries, including Australia, Germany, and Malaysia. Despite, and perhaps assisted by the censorship, Postal 2 would urinate directly into the face of adversity and go on to sell millions of copies. The decapitations, the crude racial stereotypes, and Gary Coleman made it a huge hit, with edgy teenagers who spoke about it in hushed whispers, and adults like your dad. But before smoking crack for health and the use of cats as silencers became a series staple, Running with Scissors would deliver a far more grim product.
The shooting spree began shortly after 7, as about 100 postal employees...
Is this video safe?
In the lead up to the new millennia, there was a string of workplace shootings, multiple of which occurred.
Hold up, is this video safe? Is this not toast? Is this like safe for Twitch? Are you sure? Are you sure? This is a fucking oh, okay, I trust you.
At US postal offices. Incidents of workplace rage and violence became colloquial.
Okay, we can skip some of
Postal
this.
wears this moniker like a badge of honor.
Can you sign me this petition?
It appears to
What
revel
petition?
in the simple idea of portraying something so extreme, and it boasts about its graphic nature on the back of the game box. It's deliberately offensive and provocative. While shooter games were becoming commonplace for the era, Postal distinguished itself with two defining factors.
Postal 1 was a top-down?
Human beings as targets, and the necessity to kill. While it's entirely possible to play through games like Doom, and even Postal 2, as a pacifist, where you can end the level without firing a single shot, in Postal 1, it's an outright requirement to progress. The game gives you a number of hostiles to eliminate, and sends you on your merry way with a litany of tools to carry out your task. While you're not required or encouraged to kill people considered non-hostile, they pervade every level, are almost indistinguishable from hostiles, and get caught up in the chaos far too easily.
Okay.
The largest contributor to Postal's extremely grim aesthetic, in my opinion, is its sound design. Music is only present during the intro, the level cards, and the credits, and it's not exactly easy listening. From the moment you boot up the game, it's an audio-visual nightmare. The main menu alone assaults the player with a wall of wailing distortion. A faceless character knee-deep in an ocean of skulls, this screaming mouth, and a cacophony of screeching. Even while navigating the menu, each button push is a heartbeat or a scream.
Damn.
Starting the game proper grants another serving of nightmare fuel.
They're
with
edgy
this
as fuck.
otherworldly droning. It's unrhythmic and unnerving.
I thought Postal 2 was pretty fucking edgy. This is just straight up fucking one of those itch.io games that's just like, borderline questionable.
And it's not helped by the dated entries that accompany the start of every mission. Velvetic has a great video showing all of the music sampled, which I've linked in the description. One sample in particular, titled "Is That the Door?", has also been featured in Half-Life 2, Max Payne, and Silent Hill Shattered Memories. With the level intros reading like serial killer
Half-Life
poetry,
2?
it's easy to see the Postal Dude as being cut from the same dark like my soul cloth as not important from hatred.
My name is not important.
Ah, this one.
Turning to the game's manual serves to shed some light on the Postal Dude's psyche. Labeled as diary entries, they paint the dude as less of a bloodthirsty edgelord. In the Redux version, these more crazed entries only appear on higher difficulties. He comes across as being on the defensive and honestly confused more than anything. He writes that the people in the town of Paradise are sick and he is under attack by groups of lunatics, even going so far as to try and find the sheriff for help. The entries continue until level 5, where the term diary is replaced with war journal. From start to finish, the entries keep a consistent tone, attempting to remain optimistic and with a workmanlike attitude of sorts. If we dig a little deeper and look at the game's files, there's a distinction that adds more depth to the Postal Dude's mentality and his actions. Throughout the game, when Dude takes damage, his pain responses are voiced by CEO of Running with Scissors, Vince Desi. However, the voice most well associated with Postal Dude is Rick Hunter.
Only my weapon understands me.
Oh god.
Moreover, in Postal 1, Hunter's voice lines are labeled as demon. There's a distinction here that Dude is suffering a complete mental breakdown, or more transcendentally, some kind of demonic possession. Either way, it's clear that he isn't fully in control. Look at this image from the manual. To me, this doesn't emanate an aura of victory or bloodlust, but fear, physically and metaphorically backed into a corner, clasping his weapon and himself. I feel this may be the starkest contrast to the likes of hatred. Not important, and the game itself leans so hard on being brutal, it wraps all the way around again.
This game was so controversial.
And turns into a complete farce.
Welcome to your nightmare, motherfuckers.
It's violent, sure, but with no contrast, it's less impactful. By comparison, where hatred takes itself uber seriously, Postal does have some moments of levity. Many of the game's lines during gameplay are humorous, and certain set pieces feels like the kind of absurd fun we'd see in Postal 2.
That's true.
Look at the final mission's title, and it's easy to see why it came under so much scrutiny. To the collective relief of most everyone, this mission is a cutscene you can't control. The children are safe, and you don't actually commit peticide. Dude attacks, but nothing registers, and then he breaks down and falls to the ground. While the game was released 2 years prior to the Columbine massacre, the very idea in its inclusion is extreme. So much so that it was cut from the Redux version of the game in 2016. Producer and designer John Merchant had the following to say regarding Redux's new ending. The whole idea of the original ending no longer applies anyway. It was supposed to depict something that, at the time, would have been completely unthinkable and out of touch with reality. Tragically, the sad truth is that, in today's world, it is no longer an unthinkable nightmare, but a very depressing reality.
True.
And here's where it all ends. The rampage grinds to a halt, with one of the most hellish endings in video game history. Postal Dude is condemned. No triumph, no sense of victory, just a clinical explanation. The ending evokes this uneasy, empty feeling. Perhaps the demon attached to the protagonist, if you could even call him that, is an allegory, a metaphor for the player, the real driving force behind all of the chaos. You're responsible for where the Postal Dude has ended up, but you don't have to take any of the punishment. It's very clear that Postal 1 is the darkest entry in the series, and certainly a contender for one of the darkest video games ever made. If you've played Postal 1, give me your thoughts down in the comments, and if you haven't, it's free on Steam. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so at the Patreon link below, and I'd like to thank my current patrons for subscribing.
Damn! Here's the thing though, I do like the concept, the idea there, for the Postal 1. Although, I guess it was limitation. When did Postal 1 was released? Postal 1. 1997. Like, the reason Postal 2 is so fucking popular is because it's just so fucking fun. In terms of, like, the gameplay. It's not... Like, sure, it was edgy as fuck, but... gameplay-wise, it was actually really smooth. Everything was, like... it just works. You know what I mean? It just works. And it's basically a sandbox shooter. Like, it's really up to you how you want to do each level or each mission, which is pretty fun. So, you know. Yeah. The Puzzle 1 storyline, that was actually very horror movie or horror game-ish. That's actually really interesting. Sadly, gotta go have a fun stream, guys. Alright, Lucas. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you around. Take care. It's very grim. Yep. They should make it in Postal 4 engine, but then they'd be banned everywhere. I mean... Yeah. Like, through the gameplay-wise, yeah, they would definitely get banned. The story is... The concept of the story is actually pretty good. Like, you know, it's basically about a nameless guy, a faceless guy. Like, as a player, we don't know who or what his name is or what his face looks like. But we know he's some kind of, like, demonics. Like, you know, his purpose is very devilish. Like, he's just evil. But then at the end of the game, you just realize there was no demon after all. Or I guess the concept was that the demon is the player. Like, we are controlling him. So they put the demon on the player. We possess the postal guy. And that concept, I like that. I'm pretty sure some games do that as well. I forgot which game. But that concept's actually really nice. That's really smart. Kind of demonize the player. It's like, you make him do this kind of thing. That was cool. I don't care, that makes me want to buy it more. Yeah, the problem is that running with scissors just have the gameplay that's just like straight up, you know, like, you know, no censorship. So they just want to make it as raw as possible. And obviously a lot of platforms not gonna be able to allow that. Or country, I guess, not platform. But yeah, good video though. Good shit, man. Good shit. All right, what is this?
What's running? What the?
Holy shit!
Wait, what?
What's running? What the?
Holy shit!
No, that guy was on some shit.
This is neo-strafing, or how I would much rather call it, meme strafing. It's currently stirring up the movement community a bit, and I would like to shine a light on how it came to be, why it's not new, and why the whole shit show around it right now is a bit unnecessary.
Oh god.
A lurch is a push into a direction after a jump. You can stack multiple of the same forward lurch for tap strafing, but you can also stack lurches in all other directions. Just in one direction, like backwards or sideways, or stack lurches from different directional inputs. The earliest example we had of this in Apex was momentum shifting, an ASD input to make 90-degree turns around a corner. Those are 3 stacked lurches. The next evolution of this would be circle strafing, which is a WASD input, most used to peek during bubble fights. Those are 4 stacked lurches. Thanks to how lurches are programmed, you only have 0.4 seconds to stack them. After that, directional inputs will no longer push you mid-air. So the more lurches you can stack in those 0.4 seconds, the more extreme your direction change will be, which leads us to meme strafing. The earliest instance I can find of this is this Treery video from over 6 months ago, who got inspired to do this by Jay the Yggdrasil. But it recently got a lot more popular, mostly because of this TikTok. Because that's how it works these days. At its core, meme strafe is nothing else than a circle strafe. which stacks 4 lurches. Meme strafing just stacks 8 lurches in the same time frame. So instead of WASD, it's WW, WD, DD, DS, SS, and on until you finish the circle. Since it's pretty much humanly impossible to stack that many different lurches in 0.4 seconds and do it precisely, you either achieve that with a macro, which inputs all of that with a single button press, or have config files. There are 2 major steps involved here. First,
not bannable?
Bind your scroll wheel to 2 inputs simultaneously, so you can jump
Yeah,
and input a
I
movement
do that.
direction with your scroll wheel. Then they keep rebinding your scroll wheel to the next input. This way you can just scroll up and down, and the configs will keep rebinding your scroll wheel to the next correct directional input to give you the correct lurch.
I don't know about doing that.
While also inputting jump inputs, so you don't have to worry about hitting those. A lot of people are up in arms about this right now. How this will get Respawn to remove configs entirely, or nerf tap strafing into the ground without remorse. So here's why I think this whole situation is a bit overdramatic. First, I want to acknowledge that I have been and am still in talks with Respawn about tap strafing, other lurch tech, and movement in general. Of course, I can't share anything specific, and I'm only acknowledging this to put the mind of the community at ease a bit. The fear that meme strafing will result in Respawn just banning tap strafing outright without any nuance is a bit overblown. Trust me, they are taking their time to appreciate the subtlety and understand the place of tap strafing and lurch tech in Apex. Then you
that's the reason why the what do you call it? The mid-air strafe is not removed, or they was about to remove it, but a lot of people don't want it to be removed because it's like removing B-hop from CS:GO. Like, it's such a, I understand not a lot of noob or new people will get to learn B-hop early on, but everyone's gonna learn B-hop eventually, so it's different.
You can do similar things without a config or macros. Neo strafing is originally a movement tech that doesn't use configs. Neo actually messaged me and shared the inputs he uses with a keyboard overlay. I have not mastered this yet at all, and want to make a future video about
Oh my god.
Subscribe to not all, and want to make a future video about more config.
Okay, that's broken. Holy shit, without config. Rest here, Rad in chat. Alright, Nell, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate. I'll see you around. Thank you. Have a good rest.
Lurch strafing. Subscribe to not miss that. For now, it's only important that I don't believe that Neo is using configs for his strafe. I still think it's a bit cringe to sell something like that and name it after yourself, but the current naming system is still wrong. So I would like for what's currently known as Neo strafing, which is Neo strafing with config files, to be known as meme strafing. With Neo strafing having a lot more name recognition and already being tainted with the config files association, I'm not sure that will actually happen, but we can hope. While we are at calling lurch tech after someone specific, another lurch strafe that makes you much harder to hit is peto strafing. I'm gonna link to a video by Gruig explaining this, rather than simply recreating his explanation in this video.
Oh, okay, that one I know.
Bonkers lurch strafes that don't use any config files. And I'm actually surprised a controversy like meme strafing hasn't happened sooner. As soon as I got a grasp of how lurches can be stacked, it seemed inevitable to me that someone would put them on macros, instead of only relying on the mouse wheel as the only method to stack so many of them. The theory behind all this is not new whatsoever, and it's only getting big right now because of a single TikTok that blew up, which leads us to the behind the scenes for a second. There were some shenanigans going on about who actually created this current version of the config files,
Okay, I don't
why
really
it's
care.
called Neo strafing of movement assisting config files.
I mean, yeah. It's an integral part of the game. Without it, it's just another BR. Technically true. The only reason a lot of people still favor Apex compared to another BR is that I guess thanks to the modified source engine, it basically gives you a very, I guess, a very good move tech for the game. So it's really, yeah, it's really nice, and I do appreciate the movement in Apex, because thanks to that the game is less boring, in my opinion. That's why when they were about to remove the air strafing, I was like, okay, that's not a good idea, because it's such a basic thing. Like, the only thing you need to bind in your mouse in order to be able to do that comfortably is just put scroll up with W. That's it. That's it. Scroll up W. That's it. I mean, I do scroll down with jump with scroll down as well, but if you want to air strafe, you just bind W, scroll up, done. And then you're good to go. It's the same as B-hop, where you bind jump to scroll down or scroll up, depends on your liking. It's a different case though with neo strafing, because you have to bind W W W A, like, I don't, that one's a little bit I'm not a big fan of that one. And Jenny, hydrate. Oh my god. Thank you. I actually need that. Thank you. How you doing, by the way? Good video. Good video. Now we understand better. Better. Oh my god. Dude, feeling a little bit sick fucking suck, man. Alright, let's play some games. Probably not gonna stream extra long today. Probably gonna end a little bit earlier later. To just chillax. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow. I don't know, why do I even get sick?
Gaming.
Gaming. What's up, Onsen? How you doing? I was planning to finish this, but not in the, my brain just don't want to, unfortunately. I'm probably gonna finish this off stream tomorrow or something. You sick? A little bit, not like majorly. I feel like I don't know, just bad sleep. Like my neck to shoulder, the connection between neck to shoulder, you know, like this this part, like this, and then this, it feels like, you know, strained. Like not muscle ache, but like more like nerve, I guess. Not sure. It's happening throughout the day since last night. Yeah. Ugh. Sorry. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. It's probably because of work as well, and my sleep pattern just like all over the place. But it fucking sucks that I got sick as the weekend was about to start, you know. I had another link. You have another link? Oh my god. What is it? Hold up. Was it... Wait, what was your another link? I don't see it. Did I not click it? You have Hell and Postal. Oh, you want the Postal for ending? I don't know about watching an ending on stream. Is it worth it? How's your day, by the way, Onsen? You just got here, I'm assuming a little bit busy. What's the game? I'm not sure yet. I'm not too sure yet. I was thinking about playing a Vampire Masquerade with Gara. But Gara, I think he doesn't have a PC right now. He hasn't replied. So, yeah. Let me try to find some game to play. It's like 3 minutes. Okay, let's watch it. Here a while, but a bit busy. I see. Hope it was not too busy. Since, you know, I mean, it's weekend. I know your work probably, you know, I know that your work or your job is a little bit more chaotic on the weekend. So I hope you don't have too much of a busy day today. I focus my luck on your work today. Hope it's a good one. Prega. You know my luck with gacha, right? Now I'm gonna apply that to your job. And I hope it's a good one. Channeling. Dude, my luck when I wish luck to other people, it's I don't know. I mean, it's good. Like usually when people I think it's just like coincidence when people are like, yo, Rad, I'm about to roll a gacha or something. Like, can you click my screen? Click the box, open it for me. Like, most of the time I always give them like good shit. Oh my god. It happens to friend with Genshin, my roommate. It happens, like, it doesn't happen to me, by the way. And it happens to Kay as well, like the Diablo role. And it happens to my friend with Overwatch skin. And they never happen to me. So I can only grant it to other people. Which is nice, but I want Venti as well, man. I still don't have Venti. What the fuck? But at least I can grant luck to other people. So that's good. I pick Corey because Rick's voice acting is very rusty. Is Corey the more popular Postal guy? Sorry, I used your luck on bunny girls already. Oh shit, you're right. Oh yeah, you did get the bunny girl. You get the, who's her name again? The dark skin one? God, she's so hot, dude. Thank you for the screenshot as well. Taskaru. Taskaru. Taskaru, bunny girl. Right, wish me luck on my next relic run in Warframe. See if your rep holds up. Next relic run. Describe to me what the relic run is. Oh, sorry.
Well, champ, we've made it through.
By the way, Postal 4 ending. Spoiler. I don't really care about this, but if anyone care about this, it's a Postal 4 Pacifist ending. So yeah, just a little heads up. Boom.
One wild week. Well, champ, we've made it through one wild week. But in the end, we never did find our stolen trailer home. But hell, look on the bright side. We've got our health, we've got our happiness, and most importantly, we've got each other. Come on, boy. We don't need any stinking old trailer home.
Pardon me, but I believe you're the gentleman who's been searching for his missing trailer home, and I wanted to return what belongs to you.
Oh, great. Score one for us in the end, eh, champ? Wait, is there a catch?
Oh, no catch. You see, you've demonstrated yourself a remarkably resourceful individual this past week, while exhibiting an admirably merciful approach. Most impressive, I might add. And I deemed you worthy of possessing this ease of travel to allow you where you're needed next at the earliest convenience.
Gee, thanks. I guess. Well, I suppose I'll just be taking this, mysterious stranger. Oh, and by the way, have we met before?
Don't worry yourself about that. But if you must, just think of me as a concerned onlooker. Now, please, it's time you take back what is yours.
That's creepy.
Well, champ, despite all these mishaps this past week, things still ended up pretty good in our case. Almost as if someone out there was looking out for us all along. Now, you might say that maybe, just maybe, our guardian angel was watching over us. Huh? What was that? Ah, forget it. Come on, little buddy. Let's hightail it out of here. Our home is wherever the road takes us.
Interesting. Ah, it's balls. A vagina. Oh! Ah! Okay. Finishing a pacifist ending gets you become a fucking demon favorite person? That's kind of counteract the fucking ending, isn't it? Pacifist ending means that you didn't kill anyone, right? Weren't you supposed to not get a... What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Joan St. John and Rick Hunter? Is Corey like the original Postal guy? I'm curious now.
Wild week, but in the end, we never did find our stolen treasure. We've got our health, we've got our happiness, and most importantly,
That's not Postal.
But in the end, we never did find our stolen trailer home. But hell, look on the bright side.
But this is the Postal 2 guy, right?
Happiness, and most importantly, we've got each other. Come on, boy. We don't need any stinking old trailer home.
Rick Hunter's the OG. Ah. This guy sounds like what's this guy? What's his name? The chew ass kick bubble gum. What? chew bubble gum kick ass. I forgot his name. Sounds like that game, that person. My guess is the prequel to Postal 4 is the point where he started losing his mind. Oh no. Oh, that's actually interesting. If you put it that way. Interesting. There's 100% a demon from Postal 1. You can tell not just from the eye, but also when the dude walks away, the demon's hat turns into a helmet. Like the one we saw. What? Wait, really? I didn't see it. No, it's not. When the Duke walks away? I don't see it. Duke Nukem, yeah. Well, now I'm kind of curious. Is he the voice of Duke Nukem? No. Postal dude in Postal 3 and Brain Damage. Interesting. He kind of have that Duke Nukem voice. Like Basie. Like very Chud. You know? Interesting video. John St. John voiced Duke. Oh, okay. Interesting. I can see why they would aim for that guy, considering Postal Dude is like the more a parody of Duke Nukem. But he became so original that Postal Dude became his own thing. It's cool though. It's cool. Alright. What should we play today, chat? What should we play today? We got a long night ahead. I ended drawings a little bit earlier. Yeah. See what's on Steam. Hey, Subnautica's on sale. Get it. It's a really good game. God, I wish I can forget. I wish, like, I want to play Subnautica as if like it's a new game. It's such a good game, man. But once you already know all the everything about Subnautica, it's not as fresh. Unfortunately, I really like it. One of the best game. Too bad the sequel is not as good as the first game. Oh, Total War's on sale. Continue something? I could, but I don't wanna.